the stillness of the desert night, under a sky ablaze with myriad lights, an ancient Babylonian priestess stands before a clay tablet etched with stars, her silhouette framed against the vast, shimmering dome of the heavens. Her eyes, sharp with devotion, trace familiar shapes. The foreleg of a great bull, its horns curling like crescent moons, the dual figures of the twins, their forms intertwined as if whispering secrets across eternity. She knows these are more than patterns, they are messages from the gods, written in silent fire and cosmic ink. The air is heavy with the scent of myrrh burning in braziers, its smoke curling upward like a prayer to Marduk, while the distant bleat of goats mingles with the soft rustle of palm fronds stirred by a cooling breeze. This is the very moment when humans first believed the heavens were a storybook, a celestial scroll unfurled each night to guide and warn the children of the earth. Across the cradle of civilization, from the fertile banks of the Tigris to the sun-scorched sands of the Nile, sky watchers in Babylonia and Egypt watched the stars rise and fall like clockwork pages of an eternal calendar, using their predictable dance to predict floods, plant crops, and decide the fates of kings. In Babylon, priests cloaked in robes dyed with indigo knelt in ziggurat observatories, their fingers tracing cuneiform onto damp clay tablets, recording the positions of planets and stars with meticulous care, believing each heavenly movement was a divine omen etched by the hand of Enlil or Ishtar. The great curve of the Milky Way was seen as the path of the sky gods, a luminous river where deities strolled. The Pleiades were the seven sisters of heaven, their delicate cluster a symbol of unity. Orion was a mighty hunter locked in an endless chase across the firmament, his belt gleaming like a warrior's girdle. They carved the first zodiac, 12 cosmic houses like a sacred wheel. Around their night sky, each constellation a chamber in the divine palace where celestial events foretold earthly fortunes, a comet's arc signaling war, a planet's retrograde whispering of royal betrayal. In Egypt, high priests stood atop pyramid platforms, their linen kilts fluttering in the pre-dawn chill, waiting each summer for the heliacal rising of Sirius, the red dog star, whose dawn heralded the life, bringing Nile flood that turned barren sands into verdant fields. Their observatories, carved from limestone and aligned with geometric precision, framed the heavens like a sacred stage. Pyramid shafts at Giza were aligned with Orion's belt and the circumpolar stars, believed to guide the pharaoh's soul to join those immortal lights in the field of reeds, a celestial afterlife where gods and kings walked as equals. Tomb ceilings were painted with star charts, their azure backgrounds dotted with golden points, guiding the deceased on their journey to the stars, each constellation a waypoint in the eternal voyage. To them, the heavens were alive with myth. Orion became Osiris, the god of rebirth, his death and resurrection mirrored in the stars' nightly cycle. The body of Nut, the sky goddess, arched across the cosmos, swallowing the sun each night in her starry womb to birth it anew. Each dawn, her limbs painted across temple walls in sweeping arcs of lapis lazuli. The stars were the voices of gods, the pages of a divine book, their movements dictating the rhythm of festivals, the timing of sacrifices, and the coronation of kings, whose crowns were blessed under the watchful gaze of celestial sentinels. Farther west, among the olive groves of ancient Greece, where the air hums with the scent of pressed oil and blooming thyme, philosophers and poets looked up and found heroes and monsters immortalized in the night sky. The Greeks inherited Babylon's constellations but wove them into their own epic tapestries, renaming the stars with tales of gods and mortals. A storyteller on the slopes of Olympus, his voice rising over the crackle of a communal fire, might declare, "Behold Perseus, the brave rescuer, named after a hero who once freed a chained maiden from a sea beast's jaws." So the figure who saved Andromeda from the Kraken was cast high in the sky, holding Medusa's head, its snaky locks frozen in starlight, his myth preserved eternally in the heavens' silent parade. Cassiopeia's vanity, punished by the gods for boasting of her beauty, spins slowly behind her celestial throne, her W-shaped form a reminder of hubris humbled. Orion, the giant huntsman, is eternally pursued by a scorpion, Scorpius, across the celestial dome, legend recounting his boast that he could slay any beast on earth, a challenge that earned him an eternal chase through the stars. Pegasus, the winged horse born from divine blood, leaps out of the cosmos, his hooves sparking nebulae. Draco the dragon coils around the pole, its scales glinting with menace. Greek poets gathered in moonlit agoras, their lyres strumming softly, recited these tales to rapt audiences, blending astronomy with epic, each star a character in a drama that unfolded nightly above their marble temples. Across the vast Pacific in ancient China, the heavens were a different kingdom, yet no less storied. The brightest stars, Vega and Altar, shimmer as the fabled weaver girl and cowherd, lovers separated by divine decree in a tale older than the Han dynasty. Long ago, the Jade Emperor forbade their union, casting the girl's train of clouds across the sky as the Milky Way, a celestial river that one star on each side yearns to cross once a year under a bridge of magpies, their wings forming a fleeting path for love's reunion, celebrated in festivals where lanterns float skyward like earthly stars. The Chinese called their sky the Black Tortoise, the Azure Dragon, the White Tiger, and the Vermilion Bird, each ruling a quadrant of the night, their forms painted on silk scrolls and carved into temple lintels. They built altars to the North Star, fixed at the heavenly pole, symbolic of the Emperor's unchanging authority, its steadfast glow, a mandate from heaven mirrored in imperial jade seals. Vast star maps, inked with precision on bamboo strips, divided the heavens into 31 mansions and 3 enclosures, far more intricate than the Western zodiac, each star bearing a name and a tale. A celestial magistrate overseeing justice, a palace of immortality where ancestors dwelt, or a guardian beast warding off calamity. Astronomers in Han courts, clad in silk robes embroidered with cosmic motifs, burned incense as they charted eclipses, believing a dragon devoured the sun during such omens, prompting rituals to restore celestial harmony. These observations guided planting seasons, military campaigns, and the emperor's decrees, each star a thread in the tapestry of dynastic fate. In the lush jungles of the Yucatan and Guatemala, where ceiba trees tower like green cathedrals, the Maya watched the sky through stone observatories, their circular windows framing the heavens like eyes of stone gods. They may not have drawn the same constellations as the Greeks, but they read equally portentous stories in the slow movement of stars, their limestone platforms slick with morning dew as priests chanted to the dawn. To Mayan stargazers, the Milky Way was a great ceiba tree anchoring sky and earth, its branches a cosmic ladder where celestial serpents and jaguars of the underworld slithered, their movements etched on codices of bark paper painted with ochre and indigo. Every few years, the bright stars of the Pleiades rose just before sunrise at planting time, signaling the onset of the rains that nourished cornfields, the lifeblood of their civilization. Maya astronomers, adorned with quetzal feathers and jade earspools, carved tables of Venus's appearances on temple walls, believing this brilliant morning star guided the god of war, its cycles dictating the timing of royal coronations and sacrificial rites. In their sacred narratives, the hero twins journeyed through the underworld, their trials mirrored in the sky as they became the sun and moon, outwitting jaguar gods whose eyes glowed like stars in the dark. Mayan kings claimed descent from these celestial twins, their thrones carved with stellar motifs, asserting that each ruler would ascend to the heavens like his predecessors, their souls joining the eternal dance of constellations above pyramid cities, where torchlight flickered like grounded stars. Across the vast Pacific, Polynesian wayfinders navigated endless seas under the same stars, their canoes slicing through waves guided by memorized star paths. In their oral traditions, the Pleiades were a cluster of sisters guiding voyages, while Maui, the trickster demigod, lassoed the sun to lengthen the day, his deeds immortalized in the heavens. Navigators memorized the rising and setting points of stars like Aldebaran and Antares, chanting their names in rhythmic songs passed down through generations, each verse a map to distant atolls. The Southern Cross, low on the horizon, pointed south like a celestial arrow, while the North Star's absence in southern skies forced reliance on wave patterns and star arcs, a knowledge so intimate it seemed the ocean itself whispered directions. In Vedic India, the Rig Veda sang of the Nakshatras, 27 lunar mansions, each a goddess or sage guiding human affairs, their names like Ashwini or Rohini woven into hymns chanted by firelight. Sages in ashrams aligned altars with the solstices, believing the stars were divine eyes watching the Dharma unfold, their light a bridge to moksha's liberation. Across these cultures, the stars were tools of fate and time, as vital as breath. Seafarers and caravans alike learned the patterns of the night to navigate wild lands and open seas. Under the star Polaris, sailors found their north, its fixed glow a lodestone in the dark. The Southern Cross pointed out true south, a beacon for southern voyagers. The ancient Chinese invented the star compass, a lacquered disc etched with constellations for navigation. Vikings tied ropes to a rock over a sundial, watching where shadows fell to find latitude. Polynesian wayfinders memorized star routes across the Pacific, their chants a living map of ocean trails. Every culture knew that a knowledge of the stars could save a life. A Bedouin in the desert, his camel's hooves sinking into moonlit dunes, a Mayan corn grower scanning for the Pleiades' dawn ascent, an Egyptian farmer awaiting Sirius's rise to plant along the Nile's muddy banks. All read the same sun, moon, and stars to guide planting, harvest, and pilgrimage, their lives synchronized with the cosmic rhythm. And in those same skies, prophets and scribes saw the hand of the divine, their visions weaving heaven into scripture. Ancient Hebrew texts recount that the Creator placed lights in the heavens to serve as signs and for seasons and for days and years, a celestial clockwork ordained for human guidance. Sacred verses throw their pages back against the wind, asking if mere mortals can bind the Pleiades' delicate cluster or unloose the cords of Orion's mighty belt, challenging human pride with cosmic scale. Prophets sing hymns to the one who made the Pleiades and Orion, turning darkness into dawn and calling each star by name, a divine intimacy that knows every spark in the void. The psalmist marvels that the God who counts every star knows our names too, a kinship that binds the infinite to the fleeting. In later Christian traditions, a bright star once guided shepherds and sages toward a humble birth, interpreted as a celestial herald of hope, its light piercing the Judean night to announce a new covenant. In Islamic teachings, the night sky is a tapestry of divine verses, stars described as signs for people who know, creation set to guide navigation across land and sea, their orbits obedient to the Creator's command. The heavens are adorned with lamps to ward off wandering spirits, each star a sentinel in the divine order. These texts suggest the heavens are a kind of scripture, patterns that point to something beyond themselves, to a meaning only wise or faithful eyes might read, a cosmic sermon preached nightly to those who pause to listen. Through the centuries, as telescopes were invented and science advanced, the cosmic tapestry only grew in wonder, its threads weaving myth with measurement. Astronomers like Tycho Brahe and Galileo peered through lenses that unveiled planets dancing in elliptical waltzes, yet the same constellations still ignited imaginations, their ancient names enduring even as orbits were calculated. We land on the moon, its craters stark under human boots, and listen to galaxies singing in radio hum, their frequencies a cosmic choir. Yet we keep mapping the crisscross of stars into figures, as if through that ancient habit we remain children asking old questions. Why is the sky beautiful? What messages does it hold for us? Modern observatories, their domes gleaming under desert stars, chart pulsars and quasars with precision. But the Pleiades still whisper of sisterhood, Orion of the hunter's chase. In classrooms and planetariums, children learn of black holes and supernovae, yet draw the same constellations their ancestors did, connecting dots into bears and heroes, as if the sky demands storytelling as much as science. In this cosmic play, each culture crafted its own narrative, but the stage remained the same night sky, a universal canvas stretching over every civilization. The bull and the dragon, the hunter and the queen, the cowherd and the weaver girl, the hero twins and the celestial jaguar. They all whisper their stories to us, if we know how to listen. Their voices carried on the wind that stirs desert sands and jungle canopies alike. They remind us that history is written not just on earth but etched above in points of light, a script that transcends borders and epochs. What secrets are in those constellations? The answer still draws breath in every stargazer's heart. They are secrets of our past, of our hopes, of our endless search for meaning, a quest that began when the first human looked up and saw not just light, but story. And under their silent watch, we continue to watch back, knowing that the universe itself is still the grandest story ever told, its chapters unfolding nightly in the quiet of our upturned eyes. In a modern observatory, where screens flicker with data streams from distant galaxies, an astronomer pauses, her coffee steaming in the chill night air, to gaze at Orion's belt through an open window, its trio of stars as familiar as a childhood lullaby. Across the globe, a Polynesian navigator teaches his grandson the star chants, their canoe bobbing under a sky where Maui's hook gleams, as Scorpius, a reminder of voyages past and yet to come. In a rural Indian village, a Brahmin recites Vedic hymns to the Nakshatras, his voice mingling with the crackle of a ritual fire, linking his prayers to those of sages millennia ago. These moments, scattered across time and space, converge under the same celestial dome, where the stars remain both map and mystery. They bridge the ancient priestess's clay tablet to the scientist's digital chart, the Mayan stone observatory to the Vikings' knotted ropes, each culture's gaze a thread in a tapestry that binds humanity to the cosmos. The stars, unchanging yet ever new, invite us to weave our own stories into their light, to find in their patterns not just direction but destiny, a shared inheritance that whispers, "We are all children of the same sky, seeking the same truths beneath its infinite glow."